another real positive performance from the team midweek? Is that a good thing that you can take into the game this Sunday?
Of course, every good performances that we put out there will strengthen us and make us grow and lift us towards the next. And now they're coming. The games are coming tight, which means that we don't have many training sessions to lift us. So we have to go from game performance to game performance, and every time we put a good one out there, it prepares us for the next. Obviously, it's a different game, different opponent, but some similarities, and we just need to make sure that we are sharp and ready, which I am absolutely positive that we will be.
The sheer consistency in the performances from your team must really please you, because there may be some people externally that only see the games that are on TV, that don't see every single game week in, week out, but you displayed on Wednesday night what you've been showing all season. It must please you that you just keep on putting in those high levels.
No, of course. I think at least when we look back at our performances in the start of the season, we see a lot of progression, obviously in a lot of the small details which you maybe not notice, but we feel we are much better connected as a team in all phases and all moments. We know how to deal with different things better, and individual performances are at a higher level that they are now, and we feel a higher amount of control in the games. And looking back at our first encounter with Rangers in the first game of the season, similar result, similar intensity and entertainment, but we were in more control this time, even with one man down the last 20 minutes of the game.
With that trajectory that you're on, the control you're showing in matches, is there a feeling that you're just going to keep on getting better as the season progresses?
Well, that's the ambition, and the feeling, and not just the feeling, but what we see is that we are progressing in many ways. That doesn't necessarily equals that you are certain on performing at that level that you're able to. So it's also a mental thing to make sure that we are sharp and focused and pushing each other and pushing ourselves and finding the right preparation all the time. That's what we spend a lot of energy on as well.
What are you expecting from Aberdeen under Peter Leaven and also Tony Docherty, who's been drafted in today as this interim assistant?
Similar to what they have shown lately. Now it's been more than 2 weeks since they last played, when we were going to play them. But look, we've seen a more dynamic, more lively team in a 4-3-3 with a lot of counter movements in the team, a lot of fast play. It looks more fluent, more free flowing, and then there's obviously they've probably spent the time well on the training pitch in terms of sharpening up some things structurally, which hurt them a little bit in the first couple of games where they exercised that. The change from a back three to a back four. But I expect a team that is really excited about going out to play again. They've probably missed it, like we had the other day. So most likely a very lively game. And I still see them as a team with a lot of good players who we know are better than where they are in the league.
Jens, how do you factor in the fact that you're playing the same team twice in a row? Do you have to almost think kind of one step ahead when you're naming your team with Wednesday in mind, and have a kind of a plan over the 2 games almost?
There's some things we need to take into consideration. We only play, first of all, we only play 1 game at a time, and we need to get that out of the system first. But we know that Welshie, he cannot play in the cup game. We also know that Lucas is suspended in the first one, but can play in the second one. So obviously there's some manoeuvring around that and making sure. And then we have a game after that as well. So we have 3 games, and we just played on Wednesday. So we need to make sure that we put a fresh team on the pitch from the start, but also intensity and quality and freshness throughout the full game and to finish off the games, and especially the one on Wednesday, we don't know, it might go 120 minutes. So there's a factor there that we need to prepare for as well. But right now, we are looking at, it's just one team we have to prepare against, but they can also make changes. So I think both teams will get a little bit of information on each other on Sunday, and then it's up to either team to see if they need to do changes or not, and be one step ahead in the second encounter. But we are excited about playing for points in the first one, which are extremely important to us. They're extremely important to them, and then it's a knockout game, right? Where we know, it's different when you're going towards the end of that game, and if there's a draw, there's a lot of things you have to consider as well.
I just asked you about the team news. I take it Elliot Watt was only ever scheduled to play 45 minutes on.
Yeah, it was pre-planned. Everyone was aware of that, also the squad. So that was to make sure that we now get him up to full speed in the right tempo. And I think looking at now Lucas being out, it was a very, very good decision, because now we need possibly even more minutes out of him here in the next couple of games than we would have expected or planned for. So he's in a very good shape and a very good condition, and obviously it was tempting to leave him in there because he was doing well, but it also felt really, really good to put Oscar in there, because he has been really, really good and came on and did exceptionally well as well.
Just actually, obviously Wednesday was another example of how the father team's progressed, been dominating possession against Rangers, even with 10 men as well. I was reading something, an interview Eli just gave the other week, maybe last week, when he explained about when he played one day before at Horsens, maybe you were a bit more direct in your approach. Do you feel, obviously maybe different circumstances, and it's a few years on, but do you feel even now this season that you're adapting your style of play, your approach as well? Is it just a constant development as a coach as well for you?
I think it's important to keep developing as a coach, and I've said that in other interviews. In 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, I will have picked up new ideas, developed them, and yeah, if I'm playing the same system, who knows? But it's about developing and learning all the time, not just for players, but it's certainly also for coaches. Back then there were different circumstances. Now here there are some really, really good circumstances in terms of being able to do what we do here. I wanted to get there back then, but I had to be a little bit more patient with that, and then I left before we arrived where we are now as a football team in terms of style of play, and here there were some really good circumstances in terms of being able to accelerate that process from day one.
In terms of your own development, I mean, you've made a huge impact here in Scottish football as a whole. Is Scottish football kind of shaped, your development as well in any ways as well? That maybe different things you've picked up just from playing managing in a different country?
Oh, look, I think it's, first of all, I was really excited about feeling the passion of British and especially Scottish football, which I have thoroughly enjoyed, both on and off the pitch, not just on match days, but also in between, because it's huge. And second of all, you get to play teams who play very differently, and that is very demanding and very developing, and we need to make sure that we develop a style which is different from many other teams, but we still need to be extremely competitive against the traditional way of doing things up here, and we've worked hard on that, and I think we've improved that, the ability to do that, but that's, it just asks a lot of questions of you, and I think that is cool and extremely exciting to really be challenged against that.
I suppose another thing in Scotland, you play teams quite a number of times as well. I think earlier on in the season, I think you played Aberdeen twice in 4 days as well. Is that constantly challenging you as a coach to find new ways of, getting one over the same opponents as well?
No, of course. Now we've played teams more times, but some of the teams have changed the management and the coaching staff around. Some have brought in new players, which also sets up a new challenge every time. And then you also go from half to half within the game, where teams shape up position or style or approach, and it's about always preparing to be one step ahead. Sometimes it's a chess game. I have to think not just on your own moves, but also what will the opposition do and how do we counter move that. And that's where you need to use all the resources you have available in your staff, and where it gets really exciting when the analyst and the assistant coach and the goalie coach and whoever you have around you come with their ideas and their thoughts about it as well, and then you end up with a plan that hopefully works.
It's been a great atmosphere here at Fir Park recently. What impact is that having on you and your players?
Obviously, a very positive one. It's been fantastic, the support we've had from the beginning. Obviously, the fans, the crowd here also had to get used to us playing backwards sometimes, where they felt we needed to play forward, not crossing where they were expecting a cross, us risking the ball in places where they would think we should never ever risk the ball, but they have quite fast appreciated it, because they have seen what it has also led to of positive growth and positive performances, and when they bought into it, which they did quite quick, then it has been a fantastic ride with them, and we feel as one very united club right now, and hopefully that will continue.
And for you personally, how enjoyable has that been?
Very, very much. Very enjoyable. Obviously, I think it's you try to when it's going well in this business, which you can't take for granted, then you try to enjoy it while you're working on it, and I think that's what we see also, the players enjoying their football, enjoying their trainings, enjoying spending time together. And it's the same with the staff. It's a group of people who, with the rest of the club, are just enjoying working here, enjoying where we are, but also knowing that we need to keep working hard, but enjoying the process is also important, and a big reason why we can do what we can do. Because you want to express joy and freedom on the pitch, so we need to exercise that also as a mean to get that out, and get that intensity out and the fast reactions when we lose the ball or when we win it.
And just lastly, on Monday you mentioned Aitor as someone who can make a big impact. How did you feel about his contribution the other night?
I think it's apparent that he's a real handful. Obviously, he needs to. He's not played against players of John Suter's caliber and experience, and you could see that he needs to learn how to use his body against strong, clever, intelligent players who've played at international level for many years. He will adapt extremely fast, but you can see already now the impact he's making in the games. He's looked after himself, very fit, and he almost scored. He was in a great position. And then he sets up the goal, which he's done twice now in a very short period of time, and the goals will come from his head or foot or whatever body part he used to get the ball over the line. So it's been great to see him out there, and he's a lovely young man who's so curious and so hardworking and so desperate to come in and help the team.